James Comey was in court. He self-surrendered. He's now been charged a second time, this time over a social media post with seashells that said 8647. Do you really think that he was endangering your life or threatening your life with that?
Well, if anybody knows anything about crime, they know 86. You know what 86? It's a mob term for kill him. You know, you ever see the movies? 86 him. The mobster says to one of his wonderful associates, 86 him. That means kill him. It's, I think of it as a mob term. I don't know, people think of it as something having to do with disappearing, but the mob uses that term to say when they want to kill somebody, they say 86, the son of a gun. I'm trying to keep the language nice and clear. They don't use that term, son of a gun. They use another term. But that's a mob term for kill him. Yeah.
But do you really think your life was in danger?
Probably. I don't know. You know, based on what I'm seeing out there, yeah. The people like Comey have created tremendous danger, I think, for politicians and others. Comey is a dirty cop. He's a very dirty cop.
My political sources are here tonight. Former New York City Mayor Bill de Blasio, former Trump campaign advisor David Urban, and speaking of people who know crime, CNN Senior Legal Analyst and former federal prosecutor Elie Honig. Elie, you're someone who's prosecuted over, 100 mob family members? Does 86 mean murder in mob parlance? Tell us.
Well, Caitlin, there was a point in my life where I spent the better part of my waking hours either talking face-to-face with real-world mobsters or listening to them talk to each other over wiretaps or body wires or bugs. I dealt with all 5 families: Gambino, Genovese, Bonanno, Lucchese, Colombo. I dealt with bosses, underbosses, consigliaries, capos, soldiers, associates, all the way down the line. Never, ever, not once did I hear any real-world gangster use the term 86 to refer to a murder or anything. And God knows these guys had colorful lingo, but never that phrase 86. I don't know where the president's getting this from. He said from some movie. They don't use that term in Godfather or Sopranos or Goodfellas, maybe some way old-timey movie, but that's not reality. The other piece of the interview you did, Caitlin, with the president in the Oval Office that I found really interesting, when you asked that follow-up, did you truly believe your life was in danger? The first thing he said was, probably, I don't know. And then he sort of eventually said, well, I guess so, yeah. Probably, I don't know, right there, that's an acquittal. Because prosecutors have to prove beyond a reasonable doubt that the victim believed that his life was in jeopardy. And if the jury comes back at probably, I don't know, that's a not guilty right there. I thought that was a really important moment.
So you think that could be used if this makes it to trial?
You know, it would be an interesting tack, right? If you're the defense, would you try to call Donald Trump to the stand? The thing is, it doesn't actually legally depend on what the victim's state of mind was. It's more about what would a reasonable person believe. But hey, I'd argue, look, the guy who was targeted told you probably, I don't know. So I don't think it'll ever get to a trial. I think it'll be tossed out before that on other grounds. But I'd be fascinated to see how that played out.